Okay, y'all knew it was coming at some point. I just want to have time to do it. I found time to do it. I went and watched, a good chunk of the episodes for this to get a brief summary and talk to y'all about that because that's basically what this is. So for those of you who don't know what this is like a review of like Sentai series that I was a little interested in but never gave much thought about. So now I'm going back and I'm watching them all, and instead of being quiet about it, say that I did this, that, and third, I am telling you in a brief summary about what I think about this show, the characters, the overall story, and basically just a rating of what I give this, and whether is it a good or is it a bad show. But in question, the show that we're going to be talking about today, the Sentai series that we're going to be talking about today, is the one that I said that I was going to be talking about, Engine Sentai Go Anja. Now, this was very, this Sentai series was very peculiar to me because it's another car series, another car Sentai, but it's more than that because it's more than just cars. Because early on, that like a whole bunch of different other vehicles come in here, but the main thing about it is just that there is cars and it's theming racing. The theme is racing, okay, and it starts off with these animated cars. I think that was a thing that kind of threw me off, and that it was also another thing that kind of threw off Jonathan when he first saw it. The Zords are these. They're called engines in this. They're called engines. They're these giant, animal-faced, animated, cartoon-like cars, mobile vehicles. These giant vehicles, and they had their own little world that was under attack by these machine people and whatnot. For whatever reason, I don't know why they were attacking them, but I just summed it up to basically say it was just a war over there in their world, and it somehow reached to the point where it got to the human world because these machines wanted to take over. In a sense, they want to take over other worlds to just dominate everything. That's basically the brief thing about these villains. They want to take over everything, dominate it, destroy everything, whatnot. Their thing was basically pollution, and that's what I think that was doing did to the machine world, and was trying to do to the human world. They were trying to pollute, cause pollution, and whatnot. Let's talk about the characters of the Sentai team, the actual characters. So we start off with the three Sentai members. For this show, it starts like 3, 2, and then another 2. So the first 3 is going to it was a very childish like people. Childish like individuals. They don't outright say that they're kids, but they're childish. They're very childish. They're very carefree and whatnot. The red Sentai member, the red Goanja, is named Sosuke. Sosuke, now, he comes off as very obnoxious, but he has a good heart. He does. He has a good heart, and he genuinely cares about his teammates. Genuinely cares. There are episodes where certain teammates go through stuff, and he tries to be there for them. Then you got Ren, who's the blue Sentai Goanja. There's a lot to say about Ren. Ren is he's like the motherly kind of person of the team, because he's always concerned about his teammates and whatnot. Concerned about their feelings, like how they feel, always able to back them up whenever, people are talking, kind of bad about them. His dream, oh yeah, I'm about to say, Sosuke's dream, not his dream, his life before he became a part of the Sentai, he was a racer. He was a race car driver. Okay, Ren was a bus driver. And he could cook. But his main dream, honestly, it was to create a car, create his own car, and then have it be used on the tracks, on the racetrack. The Yellow Ranger, Saki, right? She was honestly like a food server on the racetracks. She offered popcorn, drinks, and whatnot, but her dream was to do something bigger with her life. Then you got after the first three showed up and made their debut. You got like two others, Gunpei and Hanto. Now Gunpei was a former police detective, right? He's more, of course, he's always the serious one. You gotta have a serious one in the team. He was a serious one, and he was adamant about joining the Goangers. He basically had stole the engines at first. They looked at him as a thief. Then he had won them over, by really proving to himself that he actually wanted to be a part of this. He lunged into being a part of this and whatnot. And right along with him was the younger character Hanto. Now Hanto honestly was just a basic average kid. He was a basic average young man who was just doing these random jobs just to meet women his own age. That's literally what he was. That's literally all he wanted to do. And he got roped into this because he saw Sosuke and the others transform. And he wanted to be a part of that too. So Gunpei Hanto ended up becoming the black and green Goangers, right? With different morphers than the first three. The thing about this though is that they come in sets. The first three has their own morphers. The next two has their morphers, and then the last two has different morphers as well. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It always they make sure that each team member in the show has like a story arc or an episode dedicated to them, about them going through struggles and whatnot. That's the main thing that I liked about Sentai series, is that they make sure that you know about these characters, that you know about their struggles, their likes, their dislikes. But the main thing that was very significant to this team, they lived on a bus. They lived on a mobile home bus. I looked at it, it's like it's a mobile home. They lived on a mobile home bus. They didn't have a lot of money, and all that they ever did eat was eggs. They rarely ate anything else. Ren was always the one making eggs, which begs the question: if they were so poor and could not afford anything else, how in the world are they able to afford eggs? How are they able to afford eggs? And I'm sure they have tea on the bus, because Gunpei was I think it was either coffee or tea that Gunpei was always drinking. I hope they had other things, but yeah, they were on that bus. And that was basically their home base. Their home base was a mobile bus, and that was insignificant to me. I was like, so this is a racing themed Sentai team, and their home base is a mobile bus. That's the funniest thing. That honestly reminded me, like, the parody unofficial Sentai series Keqelisia, where it was just them chilling out at this like Sentai, the Super Sentai store, and like that was their base. It honestly reminds me of that. It's just like a simple, complex base. It's not anything planned out. It's not like a big headquarters. It's a small, little thing, and whatnot. Then after that, we get I don't know what to call them. We might have just called them the extra rangers. It's like the 6th and 7th ranger. Go on Silver and Go on Gold. Hiroto and his little sister Miu. Now, when they first debuted on this show, I actually didn't like them. I didn't like them because well, first there's their engines, which were flying engines, by the way. Miyu, the Go On Silver, had the helicopter, or what? No, Miyu had the jet. Miyu Go On Silver had the jet. Hiroto Go On Gold had the helicopter. I want to get that right. Let's get that right. Yeah. So their engines debuted, and then finally they got, you know, revealed as, you know, Go On Wings. They didn't want to be referred to as Go On just, which didn't make any goddamn sense, because if the term go on is in your name, you're a part of the team. But they were trying to be so much not like them, it was irritating. Yes, they like that team was basically obnoxious, but they weren't pathetic. They always called them pathetic in this and whatnot. And then you know, as further down the episodes, turns out that they were just a bunch of rich snobs, which makes perfectly sense why they acted like that. Because they thought they was the shit. They thought they was better than them. As time goes on, they realized that they weren't. They couldn't defeat everything. They didn't have everything all together and whatnot. So finally, they acknowledged the team, the Go-Oners and whatnot, despite them, you know, kind of not liking about it. But like, come on, like, y'all gotta seriously get your heads out your asses and just like, it's more than just y'all. Like, that's the one thing I didn't like about them. Their heads were too stuck up their own ass. It really was. But yeah, Hiroto was like the very, very unnaturally calm. He always talked like this. He always talked like this for some fucking reason. I have no idea. You could rarely hear him unless, you know, the camera was on him. You could rarely hear this man because he did not shout it. He rarely ever shouted. Rarely. Miyu was like the bratty girl. She was a brat. Like, she wanted the finest clothes, the finest everything. She thought the Go-Oners were pathetic, and she looked at them as stray dogs. According to what Hiroto said, she has a bad habit of trying to help stray dogs, which was very insulting. So I didn't like her for that, and I didn't like Hiroto for him being the way he is. Oh yeah, and their guide, the Go-Oners guide, was this little mini robot named Bumper. He looked a lot like Brum, so I almost said Brum in this. I almost said Brum. The Go On Wings' guide was a giant plane that had the head of a whale. Yeah, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Okay, you could have easily made that thing a submarine, but fine. It's Go On Wings, duh. Just have wings. Fine, whatever. Fuck it. So this team was like on more like the parody side because they had a lot of funny moments, but when it got serious, it got serious. They're very cooperative with each other. They they bicker a lot. Oh my god, shut up. Sorry about that, y'all. But honestly, I like this team. I like the Sentai team. They had their own kind of style, and despite the fact that it's another car Sentai series, it was their own. It was literally their own. It was nice to see, you know, like, you know, the engines, you know, talk and whatnot. Because I honestly want to know how they would sound, and honestly, that's exactly what I thought they would sound like. They're very animated voices, voice-like personalities. They all had their own same characteristics, and they generally respected their partners. Rarely ever did they ever, you know, disagree with them, other than the fact that there was that one episode where, like, this villain from the machine world came in and they were scared, but the Go-Oners snapped them back out of their fear and whatnot. Now, as far as the villains go, I didn't particularly care about the villains except for one. Except 4-1. Oh, and by the way, these villains are that they're called the Banki clan. Gaiark. Okay, whatever. That's not anything that I would easily remember, but fine. That's more than fine. Now, the only one that I honestly cared about was the humanoid like member of this clan, Gaiark, Keqelisia. Now, you can call me a perv all you want. She was fine as hell. She was fine as hell. I don't know how they did this, but it's honestly nice to have a woman be the lead of a villain organization. It's rarely ever do you see in a Sentai series, other than the unofficial Sentai series, that a woman is the lead of the evil team. There's like it's very refreshing, and this woman is beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous. Whenever when she was first on screen, I was like, really? Okay. I can get behind this. I can get behind this fully. Yeah, I enjoyed her when she was on there. Whenever she got mad, like, she would always blow her top, and it was funny because like one of her generals had to twist the valve so that she would calm down. That was honestly very funny to me. And also, they were very indestructible. This clan had their own repair system that just whenever they got hurt, it would just patch right back up in like an instant. But yeah. What I want to say about this team that I haven't said already, I would give it an 8 out of 10, and that's only because I didn't like the go on wings. This is the first time that I ever had a problem with the extra rangers, the 6 rangers. That's honestly the only time that I ever had a problem with them is this one right here, because those two were too goddamn snobby for me. Because they thought they was better than everybody else. If you don't have a snobby attitude, why even become a hero? Why? Like, what even the purpose? Like, you're wasting people's time with your snobby attitude. Just stop. And really, they never really saved anyone. They all they cared about was fighting the evil and trying to make themselves look good. They didn't really care about being heroes. Where the Goanders is like the exact opposite. They fought the evil and saved lives and cared about others. So it's like, wow, y'all just useless. Only thing that was strong about y'all was y'all's equipment. Other than that, y'all are useless. But yeah, let me know what y'all think down below about this series. If you have watched it already, I want to see what things that I missed, that I did not talk about on this, that you can bring out, and we can have a conversation. Or if you have not watched the series, give it a try, because I gave it a try. I didn't watch it all the way through, but I gave it a try. I did. But yeah, until then, this has been Master Ryo Sakurai. I love y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all again next time. I'm out of here. Peace.